Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how you can edit your player model and get something like this. And if this does help you and you do enjoy, please consider subscribing or hitting that bell. You don't have to, but it does really help me out. Thanks, let's get into it. To start off, you're going to want to make sure you do have the customizable player mods installed. After that, make sure that your GUI scale is at 3, just so the GUI isn't straight in your face. Then open your skin editor and load up the file that you made yesterday. Load up the skin that you made yesterday, and if you weren't here yesterday, if you didn't watch that video, definitely go watch it. It will be linked in your description, or in the description. Next, go to animations and click the plus, and these are all the different animations you can have. I'm going to be using global, which is the always playing animation. It doesn't stop when you go to do something else, but you have a million different options you can do here. It's actually crazy how many different animations you can make for different things. It's absolutely insane, but just for now we're gonna go simple and just do global. You can name it if you want, I just don't see the point really. And today I'm gonna be showing you a really simple animation that really didn't take me much time, and I'm gonna show you how you can go more in depth with it and how you can make more. So to start off, you're gonna click body or head. It really depends where you want the animation. If you want something floating around you or something like that, definitely go body, because if you put it on your arm or your leg, it moves with your arms and your legs. So let's just start off with body so we can make it move by ourselves, and we're just gonna add a cube. Just click that plus and add a cube, and this is where you get to kind of mess around a little bit and do what you want to do with it. So I decided just to make a sword on my back that glows and changes colors and moves around a little bit. So if you want to just make a test one and see how it works, I really just decided to try and figure it out by myself, and it took me a good hour to really figure out what I was doing, but it took me a while to make the first animation you saw in the beginning too. So if you want a good one, you are going to need to take a little bit of time at it. This isn't very difficult to do. This is taking a little while, so I am going to speed it up, but basically you can see I'm just messing around with the blocks and seeing what would look well, and I recommend you do the same. It's a very simple process. It's not hard to do at all. You basically just mess around and try and get what you want. People have used this to make floating pets, floating hearts, stuff like that, and the really cool thing about this mod is that other people running the mod can also see your animations and you can see theirs. So this mod is a lot of creativity. You just need to tap into a little bit of creativity when messing with this mod, and you can make something completely crazy, and it's just insane the type of things you can make. I just be careful if your animation and you make something completely crazy, like too crazy, it can start to lag your game, but most people won't run into that issue, as you need to go completely off the rocks to get there. But basically after I did that, I just decided, since I wanted to make like my sword change colors, I decided just to like duplicate the sword a few times. But here you can see me rotating it. I just wanted a 45-degree angle. It's a little bit, sometimes it can be a little bit buggy, but once you get the hang of it, it's really easy. It's not much to it at all. So yeah, and you can use like regular shortcuts too. You can use Control Z to undo. So, and as you can see, I just put it at a 45-degree and put it right on my back here. And to start off, you can see I'm just going to duplicate it a few times. And when I go to animate it, I'm just going to hide the layers as I do it. So you can see me doing here. And if you are trying to make something glow, depending on your shaders pack, it might just glow white. So you got to be aware of what shader pack you use. And here on the shaders pack I use here, I need to use the color filter and the glowing eyes, or else it will just glow white. So some shaders pack, it doesn't matter. It really depends what type of shaders pack you are using. I am using Silder's Vibrant Shaders Extreme, so this is how I found a workaround here. But as you can see, I just duplicated it once. I'm going to start going from lighter to darker until I got the dark red, and then do the same thing backwards. To save time, I am speeding this up a little bit, but once you got what you want, just go straight into animations. And as you can see me here, what I'm going to do is make all of my layers invisible except for the starting one. And then you can see I can add a frame there. I can scroll through them, play, delete frames, edit positioning, rotation. So I'm just going to do that, and add a frame, and then I'm gonna add a few frames, and then I'm gonna make the first layer invisible, make the second layer I want visible, and do the same thing. Add a frame, make it invisible, go to the next one, make it visible, and add another frame, and just so forward, and you'll see how it ends up. I ended up not liking it too much, so I decided to change it. I'll add a few layers with the red, make it invisible, go back to the layer one, and so forward and so on until I get it so it kind of transitions from a normal sword to glowing and then back to a normal sword, you know. And you'll see me test it here pretty fast. I decided to change it around and show you a little bit more at what you can do with the animations and how they really work, because they are pretty simple actually. It's not like, you can see there it glows, and you don't really know how it will really look until you look at it in game. So you can edit the duration. For this one I made it 4,000 milliseconds, so 4 seconds, so it goes slower and it looks more what's the word for it, more natural. And you're gonna want to save it. You're gonna need to save it before you can even test it. So you're gonna want to save it, then go to a testing game and load it up and see how it looks and see what changes you need to make, because again, depending on your shaders pack and your resource pack, it can kind of vary a little bit. See, I had a cape on. I didn't think about that ahead of time, so I needed to turn off my cape to see this one. So once I turned on my cape, you can see it. It kind of, the glowing kind of like glitches a little bit, and it makes like lighting. I think it might be my shaders pack, but it clips into your skin even though it's not. Like in this one I am clipping into my skin, but if you saw the original clip I wasn't, but it still kind of clips in a little bit even though it's not. It's weird, but you really gotta mess around with your shaders packs and everything if you want to get it looking the way you want to. Just realize that you are gonna have to do a little bit of messing around to get it perfect. So here you could see that it did work, and I wasn't too happy with it, so I decided to animate it and make it do something, just as a little trial to show you guys what you can do with this, as it is pretty crazy. You can get pretty extensive with this, and it can really be a lot of fun messing around with this. So I deleted my last 3 layers there of it changing, and I decided after it changes to red, I decided to move it around a little bit. And as you can see, you can just simply like move it about. It depends on distance. If your duration is like 4 seconds long, you might want to go a little bit more further. If your duration is shorter, I recommend having more frames because it'll just make it look smoother. But if your duration is longer, have less frames and just move it more, right? And I'm just going to speed this up so you guys can see better. And just like this, you can kind of see what I'm doing. It's, again, you can notice it is going to be a slower process. You're probably going to be spending about an hour on a decent one, depending on what you want, right? If you want something complicated, you're going to spend a lot of time on it. But I can say it's pretty worth it in the end. Once you get it all set up, they really look good, and I was very happy with my floating daggers. I was very pleased with that, and I really enjoyed it, and I think it looks really cool. So again, other people can see this if they have the mod enabled too, and you can see theirs. And I think that's like one of the coolest features of it as well. It's not just like single player only you can see it, but even if it was, I still think like this concept was a really good idea, and the mod creator definitely put a lot of time into this mod. You can find a link to the mod and everything in the description as well as the first video where I show you how to make your eyes glow, which is very simple as well. But I feel like this is actually a simpler process than the eyes, funny enough, right? Like that's pretty funny to me at least. So as you can see, I set up the animation so it glows, it turns to glowing, and then I'm just gonna make it go slowly back to the normal sword again, and make it like, you'll see how it ends up. I made this pretty fast. Like this is like a 10-minute job, as my floating daggers took a good hour for me to finish. But look at this. Make it fly out, float around you once, and then go back into its place. You see how it works? Like, it's very simple and very easy. And I'm going to test it in game here, and you'll see it'll work perfectly fine in game. It'll glow and it'll look nice. And personally, I love this. This mod is great. As you can see, it still clips into my body, as I also had it very close to my body. I don't recommend that. Have it a few pixels out, but as you can see, it works perfectly fine. It glows to red, and then it floats around me, and then glows back, and then goes back to normal. So next I am going to show you how to export it. I ended up loading up my other one just because I hadn't exported it yet. But as you can see, I'm going to show you like a little bit of my animation here, how many cubes I had and everything. Just moving all the singular cubes around and rotating them as I did is what took a long time. It's only like 14 frames, I believe. It's not very long. Just moving all those individual squares around so much does take a while. And then you're going to file, export. You're going to change it from skin to model. Name it, definitely name it. Because if you have multiple, it's going to be a little bit annoying. So I just said floating daggers. You don't have to put a description. Set the icon so you can see it from the menu. And don't bother any of the other settings. And just click export. So once it's exported, you're good to go. You can save it. I just keep saving. Always just save it and then go back, load up your world, and you'll notice you don't have it equipped immediately. You won't have it equipped immediately, but you're just gonna want to press G. It's one of the hotkeys. Press G and then go to the bottom left, click models in bottom left, and there you can see it, floating dagger. Select and apply, and you can already see it's there. And that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I really hope this tutorial helped you and you guys make some crazy stuff. If you do, make sure to let me know. Let me know in the comments and show me the crazy stuff you make. I'd love to see it. And thanks again, guys. That's all I got. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care.